Hey guys, Mike here. So today, I'm here to talk to you about Pokemon Detective Pikachu. In this review, I'll be going over a brief summary of the plot, my quick thoughts about the film, and whether or not you guys should go and see it. So I'm going to try and keep this review spoiler-free. However, if you want to know anything about the film and you want to go in completely blind, then let's just come back to this video once you've seen the film. So with that, let's get started, shall we?
He's barely moving.
Don't tell him that.
Oh, he's on a bike. Quick, get in front of him.
Stop.
Oh, no. He's going down hard, Tim. Should have worn a helmet.
So Pokemon Detective Pikachu stars Justice Smith as Tim Goodman. You may remember him from Paper Towns and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. The movie also stars Ryan Reynolds as Detective Pikachu. You may remember him from Life and from the Deadpool franchise. In Detective Pikachu, Tim has just received news from Rhyme City that his father has been presumed dead after working in an especially dangerous case. So Tim now has to go to Rhyme City to get the keys for his father's apartment, clearing everything out, and just basically try and move on with his life. While inside his dad's apartment, he finds his partner Pokemon, Pikachu, and he soon discovers that he and Pikachu can understand each other. So now, with Tim and Detective Pikachu working together, they decide they're going to find all the clues they can to finish his father's case. So first of all, I have to say that I absolutely love Pokemon. I've been playing the game since I was a kid, and I'm still playing them to this day. And from pretty much the moment that Ryan Reynolds announced that he was going to do this movie, I mean, we all pretty much thought the same thing. Ryan Reynolds said, yeah, I'm doing a Pokemon movie and I'm going to play Pikachu. We all said, yeah, okay, lol, nice one, mate. And then pretty much a year later, they released the trailer for Detective Pikachu, and everyone's like, oh, he was actually being serious? And, you know, for months I was really looking forward to this movie, and now that I've seen it, I can say that I had an absolute blast with this movie. So first off, Justin Smith, you know, he's definitely serviceable in this. I mean, his character in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was beyond obnoxious. But I'd say in this movie, he really shows off that he has quite a fair bit of good acting range, I think. Definitely enough so that you shouldn't just write him off as another one-note mediocre actor. But let's be honest, anyone could have really played the role of Tim Goodman. Now, the role of Detective Pikachu, there's only one man who could have really pulled off this role, and it's Ryan Reynolds. Now, on first impression, this role could have really come off as just Deadpool playing Pikachu. But once you really settle into the movie, you kind of forget that it is Ryan Reynolds playing Pikachu, and you just see it as Detective Pikachu. But, you know, I do have to admit, at the start, I wasn't hooked right away, but I did think as soon as Detective Pikachu comes on screen, that's when the movie is going to start getting good. And I can say that that was definitely the case. As soon as Detective Pikachu comes on screen, that's when the movie really comes alive. Just every single line that Pikachu has is just an absolute killer. Because honestly, this movie lives or dies with Ryan Reynolds, and he definitely did not disappoint. But another especially funny scene in this was the Mr. Mime scene. I thought they probably would have just shown all the best bits of that scene inside the trailer. But no, they just really expand upon it, and it's just an absolutely insanely funny scene. I just kind of wish they'd focus more on these Pokemon interactions. Don't get me wrong, the story's definitely interesting, and for quite a few points I was actually not really sure what was going to happen next. I mean, right at the start, I probably couldn't have guessed how it was going to end. But as it kind of went through, I did start to guess a bit more about what was going to happen next. And it was kind of obvious what was going to happen next. But, you know, I wasn't expecting so much nuance and surprise from Detective Pikachu, really. But like I say, I wish they just had a little bit more character interactions with the actual Pokemon themselves, like the Mr. Mime scene. But now, as for the actual Pokemon themselves, over the years, we've all seen how probably Pokemon would look if they were in the real world. And, you know, we've seen some good concept art, and we've seen some bad concept art, and I think that this movie really hits the nail on the head about how Pokemon would look in the real world. I mean, the ugly Pokemon are ugly, and the cute Pokemon are cute. And as well, I was quite surprised with the number of Pokemon in this, because realistically, I thought they were only going to use the original 151, possibly some from Gen 2. But no, they go right up to Gen 7, over 700 Pokemon. Now, I don't believe every single one of the over 700 Pokemon makes an appearance in this movie, but they did a good job getting as many in as they could. My only gripe was that I didn't see my favourite Pokemon, which is Volcarona. Anyone who knows me knows that I absolutely love this Pokemon. Competitive-wise, design-wise, it's just an absolute great Pokemon. And unfortunately, I didn't see it in the movie. I mean, if I watch this a second time, I might be able to spot it in the background. But on a first viewing, I didn't get to see Volcarona, and that was a little bit disappointing for me. But singing this movie's praise, there was only, I'd say, one Pokemon design that I didn't like, and that was Snorlax. It wasn't insanely bad, it's just for some reason they made Snorlax furry, and you know, if anyone knows Snorlax, you don't really think furry Pokemon. But other than that one little gripe about Pokemon designs, you know, they were all really, really good. And another funny thing I found was that Pokemon as a whole is probably more aimed towards kids, but in the screening that I went to, there wasn't a single child in there. And for a movie that probably claims to be more of a family movie, I just found this quite funny. But this movie had a lot of obstacles to get over. First of all, being a live-action Pokemon movie that's not directly tied with the main storyline of catching Pokemon and becoming the very best. It had to get over the hurdle of being a video game movie, because as we've seen, video game movies do not do well. Because as we all know, video game movies are just, more often than not, just terrible, and they just can't really adapt these stories to the big screen. So, where does Detective Pikachu lie in the video game movie catalogue? And honestly, I would say that this movie is tied first with my all-time favourite video game movie, Warcraft. It's kind of hard to decide which one's better because they're both so very different, but in terms of actual quality, as opposed to my own personal preference, I would say that Detective Pikachu is the best video game movie ever made. It's just really well written, it's decently acted, all the designs look really good, and it's just a nice, decent movie. And not even in the sense of it's good for a video game movie, this is just a good movie. But I do say that another fault for it, though I would say that another fault for this movie is that they kind of have this idea that you know all the Pokemon that are on screen. Because for someone like me, I know pretty much most, if not all the Pokemon, not by name, but if they had a who's that Pokemon kind of thing on screen, I could probably name every single one. But most people don't know any Pokemon past the original 150. I mean, you have Pokemon from Generation 6 who have somewhat prominent roles in this movie, and some people probably might not know who Greninja is or who Torterra is. Not that I'm saying that this is a make or break thing, it's just kind of hard for people to kind of get engaged with it when they don't really know everyone who's on screen. But I imagine this was really more to please the hardcore fans, because imagine the people who are really into Pokemon don't want them sitting on screen saying like, oh, that's that Pokemon, or that's this Pokemon, reading out their Pokedex entries every time someone comes on screen. But that's not the kind of movie that this is. This isn't a Pokemon catching movie. It's a detective movie with Pokemon in it. Overall, guys, I really enjoyed this movie. Ryan Reynolds was amazing as Pikachu. I mean, who else could pull off playing a Pokemon, really? This movie was funny, engaging, and it keeps you guessing for the most part. And like I said, it's just a really well-adapted video game movie. But now, as for whether or not you guys should go and see it, I would definitely recommend that you should go see this movie. Whether you're a massive fan of Pokemon or whether you're not really that into Pokemon, I'd say just go see this movie anyway, because I think you'll have quite a good time with this one. And like I say, if you don't know Pokemon, then where better to start with the first live-action Pokemon movie? And I really hope that this movie does really well, because I would just love to see more live-action Pokemon movies. I think it's doubtful that they'll make a Detective Pikachu 2, but they might do other kind of Pokemon series, whether they'll focus on the main storyline of catching Pokemon, whether they'll do a mystery dungeon one. The possibilities are endless. Okay guys, that's my review of Pokemon Detective Pikachu. If you've seen it, what did you think about it? And who's your favourite Pokemon? Whoever it is, drop it in the comments below. And until next time, I've been Michael. See ya!